Hi folks, so we are going to talk briefly about what we need to be doing for our optimizations. So what I have up in front of me here is this is just the test file for a process color optimization. So there's a couple things on here, a couple elements, and I just want to kind of talk about like why these elements might be here and how they would apply to this type of optimization. So when we look at it, so the major things that we see is like number one, we see the tone scales, 100 on down to about 15. Then we see the 10 through 1. We see some solids, and we have this one right here, and this is what we call a gray balance strip. And what it has on it is percentages of CMY on it. So technically, if everything was balanced, whenever it printed, this would actually look gray. It wouldn't have any shift of cyan, magenta, yellow, anything like that. We also have some gradients going on here. It's always good to kind of see how the gradients reproduce when we do it. And of course, we've got our impression targets. We've got another one of those, like these two circles right here are again gray balance. So this is like the gray balanced one, and then this is black. So essentially, if everything was balanced properly, this circle right here and this circle here, like so this one being made out of CMY and this one being made out of just black, they would look pretty much identical if everything was balanced properly. But this is a test file, so we know that's not going to work. So, and then from this, we could learn some things. So let's talk about each of these in a little bit more detail. So we've got the solid ink patch densities, or solid ink density patches, the SID patches. Now, so if you have these over here, the point of that is just to be able to measure them to kind of document essentially how much ink's being printed. We got them on both sides, so that we can measure across the web and see if one side's printing more than the other, and just be able to do that. These are just fancy registration marks, just so you know. So we've got the tone scales, and with these tone scales, like the 10 or the 100 through 15, those would help us kind of identify dot gain. So we could go in here and measure like the most likely what we're going to measure is the 70, the 50, and the 30. If we measure those three, figure out how much dot gain that we're getting in those areas, we can go create a transfer curve or a dot gain curve that we put into the RIP and fix that. We also have these right here, the 10 through 1, and those are to identify dot fall off. If we have any, like if the dots won't hold at say 1, 2, or 3 or 4%, okay? So those are there, and then this is actually just a photographic image. And it's a lot of times a good idea to throw a photographic image in there, just because there's a whole bunch of stuff here that it's very hard to relate to on a graphics level. So having something like this that might might give us a little bit of a visual to kind of focus on when we're running the press, that sort of thing, is always a good thing to have in play. Okay, so that's just a quick breakdown of what a test file might look like. Okay, so this one, is one that's for process color. So of course we've got elements in CMYK, but some of you guys, your optimizations, they don't need the CMYK. They probably just need one color. So here's what I want you all to do when you start your file. So and I've given y'all feedback and told you what you need on your optimization files. So what I think the best things for you to have are going to be tone scales. We don't necessarily need these like the one these, because we're not really measuring dot fall off. So at least not here. So you don't really need those. But what you would need would be tone scales, kind of like this. Now this one has a whole bunch, but usually tone scales, if we're just using it for just an optimization test, you have like 100, a 90, 80, 70, and then break it down by 10. So you might have 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, on down to 10, okay? So, you've got these here, which you could just pull them out of here and build it. That'd be fine. Another thing that we probably want to have is we want to have some solids. So, you could do solids that were just a square. That'd be fine. If you want to make it visually look a little bit more interesting, you could, put it in a shape or whatever. But what we need is a nice, solid area that, is fairly big. So one thing that you might do if solids are an important thing that you're testing, maybe just put a strip across it like this that's just a strip of color. That would probably be a real good idea and work out real well. So yeah, probably just put a strip across it if we need solids, strip across and that solid, that would be good. A couple other things that might be good to add into yours is a type test file and a line test file. So I have some samples of those so you can see what I'm talking about. If we come over here, type test file. So here it is. You can go just download this and you can copy and paste it. So, and basically what it is, it's just got type at different sizes. It's got it reversed out and in positive so that we can kind of see how well those smaller type sizes are holding. Pretty important stuff. Also, line thickness test here. So, kind of the similar kind of idea, just like so. Now, here's the thing. With both of these, you can get creative with placement. How you place, like this one, I've got, if it would make more sense for you to have them stacked, so this one is underneath this one, that'd be fine. And you can get creative with the placement. There's no perfect way to place it. But what you can't do with either of these two files is you can't scale them. If you go and scale them, then what they're documented at the top of what they are, it's not going to work anymore. When you scale it, that's all going to go nowhere. So you cannot scale these. So those are the two elements that you probably need in there. So you need some solids, you need some type, and you need some line thicknesses as well. So those are some ones that you might need. Of course, you're still going to need bearer bars. You're going to need register marks as normal. That's always. Now, another thing that I would recommend, if possible, if there's room, which there should be plenty of room, is a photographic image of some sort. It can be a photograph of anything. But the one thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that it is grayscale. So what I mean by that is, let's just say I went and I downloaded, some image that I wanted or found some image that I wanted. So let's just say it's this cute little tiger right here. Do you guys know what the CPCC mascot is? It's the tigers, just in case you didn't know. All right, so of course you're going to learn something today. So we got the tiger. So what I'm just going to do is image mode grayscale. Yes, discard. And there we go. And I just save this and then I drop it and I place it into my Illustrator layout. So so just a review, you're going to need bearer bars, register marks as always. You're going to need some solids. You need some test elements like a line thickness test, tone scales, and the type test, and try to find room to put in a small photographic image. That's what it is, and then that would be essentially what we're going to be putting together for our optimization. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with this project. We're going to be, a lot of our test plates are going to be similar. But the outcomes that we get from the different optimizations are going to be very different. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's exciting. This is fun stuff. And the reason I think it's fun is because, we're doing it with a different kind of, perspective. We're not going in and just go print something that looks good. We're looking at how do we print something, and if we adjust the variables, how does that impact how it prints? And being able to wrap your mind around that sort of thing, that's what builds a problem solver. It's not, it's not necessarily someone who's going to go and just go through the motions. You're going to have a much deeper understanding of the entire process if you can figure out how to manipulate variables to get a better quality product. All right, so looking forward to moving forward with this project. If you guys need anything, don't ever hesitate to reach out.